Good morning, everyone, and welcome again for this morning's coffee chat. And I hope you guys are all doing well. I do have a special guest on this morning. Hello, Miss Martin Muses. How are you doing?
Doing great. My state's misfortune is our fortune because I'm holed up in my bedroom. Yay, me! So I'm able to be here.
Yes, held up in there, staying warm. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad that you're doing well, and I'm hearing all kinds of stories going on back that way, with some people not doing as well as others. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it is what it is. And my prayers go out to everybody that is, going through something, and trying to stay warm and all that. So, and your misfortune, or this misfortune, is our fortune.
Yay. I think I'm so glad to be here.
So what's in your mug? What are you enjoying this morning?
Peppermint flavored coffee with a splash of cream.
Nice. It sounds really, really good. Really good. And then we have, again, my co-pilot here, Stig Kenobi. How are you doing, kind sir?
I'm doing quite well, except for rolling my eyes uncontrollably.
Why is that?
That fucked up coffee.
Well, at least you're not the one drinking it, so just have tolerance. Yeah, what are you enjoying this morning or today?
Well, I have a bottle of bubbly water.
Oh, okay. Nice. It sounds pretty good. It sounds refreshing. And then we have people popping in now, finally. And we have Miss Lady Tauriel that's been waiting for us to start. And thank you for hanging out with us. The last comic of Omnibus 2. Yes, so this is the volume 2 of the collection. And so we're doing the last comic. This show is going to be within an hour. But this one, it's a kind of a short comic, but it's very emotional, impactful. That's all I got to say right now. So, and then we have Miss Teresa waving and giving roses out. Look at that. Mm-hmm. And then Gelderon, morning. So thank you guys for coming in. Looks like OG has a painting in the works. Yes, I do. So it's for my college gallery. So I will be graduating this semester with my art degree. So I, as a advanced painter, I had to propose my gallery and what I'm going to do with it and stuff. And so that's in the production. So you'll probably see a few different type of paintings behind me as time goes on. So let's see. Hello, Da Penguin. All right. So thank you guys for coming in. And then we have Seth Theriot. Sorry about that, darling. Thank you guys for joining us. So here we go. So this is called Forever Young. And like I said, this comic is a bit emotional. So, and Stig, when you read this, what did you think about it without giving any spoilers?
Well, it didn't make me emotional.
Yeah, well, yeah, you would probably be different compared to probably Teresa and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good comic, though.
Yeah.
Has an impact on certain characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed there's a little, kind of like a little reveal in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you caught that or not.
I think I did. So when we get there, we'll discuss that. And Teresa, so when you read this, from what you remember, what did you feel about it without giving any spoilers?
Well, just kind of like our own thing from what we have discussed before is it's just so daggone sad.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's good because what they're doing is they're showing us this is war. This is not
It's not the slapstick we saw in the Clone Wars animated show.
Yeah. Yeah. And hello, Soul from the Frozen Assassin, or the Frozen Assassin. Oh, I have a lot of Frozen friends.
Sounds like a cold-blooded killer, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Frozen Assassin. There you go. And then Terminus, thank you for coming in. And we have David, thank you for coming in as well. So let's go ahead and get into
what the Frozen Assassin says to his victims?
What?
Let it go.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh, that's crazy. Let it go. Let it go. All right. So let's get started. Let's go. Let's get started. All right. So they're on the planet Zadja. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I never heard it said in in the audibles. So sometimes these words can be very tricky with the pronunciations. And this is in the outer rim. And it's not really a big, it's unmemorable. So, but the thing is that this is another separatist stronghold.
Yeah,
And
they're building droids.
Correct. So they're going in to take care of that, to stop the production and stuff. So we have Anakin, we have Obi-Wan, we have their their, was it garrison or whatever, their troops coming in. And Anakin gets a surprise on who's joining them. So we have them coming together, and he is like, staring right at what's her name? Tono? TH.
Yeah, Thono or something like that.
Yes. And the crazy thing is that she was on Jabim with him, right?
No, everyone on Jabim died.
Okay, so which one was she on? Which one did she fight with him then? I thought it was Jabim, that she was someone that survived or something.
No, I think everyone on Jabim died.
Yeah.
I think she's just I think she's new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's taken back at first. At first, Obi-Wan's like, get with it. You have, basically thinking that he has a crush on her, or he can't just keep her eyes off him. And so, Kenobi's over here, like, stick with the plan. Focus your mind and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, could you turn the page back?
Okay.
Fourth picture. Obi-Wan says, "You're not developing another one of your crushes."
Yeah.
Obi-Wan knows about Padme.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's a little reveal. That was the one I was mentioning.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I kind of caught on to that. I figured, by this time, I figured he knows some stuff. He knows stuff. And as we go along in the lore, he just kind of ignores it and stuff. And we knew that if you're privy to the original lore, Obi-Wan even had a love interest too, Siri Tachi.
Yeah. And on the bottom, he mentions that she's so young and he knows what happened to the other masterless Padawans, and then he refers to the Jabim thing. So she wasn't on there, but she's reminding him of the Battle of Jabim, because that was a bunch of apprentices.
Yeah, and see, that's where I got confused. So Teresa, you were going to say something.
Oh no!
You muted yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying something in relation to the Obi-Wan, what you were talking about, that he also had that love. And when you look at Obi-Wan, sometimes from the movies, he seems a little stuffy about some of this. Even though he was sympathetic, it appeared to what Anakin was feeling. It just reminds you that all of them just about had someone that they loved and lost for various reasons.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is okay, well, I'm gonna go with this attachment thing that they guard against with attachment and stuff. It's funny how they're like, don't develop a relationship because that can develop attachments, which Luke kind of course corrected that thought process or that way. But when you look at it, and when you look at even Anakin and Obi-Wan, like towards the end of Revenge of the Sith, when they're on Mustafar, and Anakin's laying there burning or almost burning, and Obi-Wan's like, I loved you as a brother, blah blah blah. So that's another kind of form of attachment, maybe, or maybe that's showing that you can still have a relationship, like like friendship relationship or anything, and not have the attachment. So I don't know, it can go both ways there. But what I'm getting at is that I think attachment and love and all that was confused and was a flaw of the old order.
Yeah, in a sense, but like Yoda says, the fear of losing is the basically the neighbor to greed, right?
Yes.
Which is a dark side thing. Which is
Yeah.
why that's why they're being careful with it.
Exactly. And that's the only thing is the fear of losing. You could still have a relationship with someone and, get past that fear of losing and honor them in life and death. But some people can't do that. And we see that with Anakin. So, all right, let's move on. All right. So we have this here. And so basically, he feels the dangers and he doesn't want to lose her because, if he's experienced loss and he has to save everybody. And Obi-Wan's like, basically, let her, she's here to do her mission. We have to do ours, basically. And so they're sneaking up onto the, to the factory there. And of course, it's the Geonosians there too. And they don't like cold either. So the Geonosians, they're like an insect type species. And so they're not necessarily in their proper climate. And maybe that's why they moved them here, because no one would suspect them, I'm guessing. So.
I don't know. I hate them.
You hate them?
Yeah.
You don't like any of the bug species, do you?
No.
Yeah, because you even read the Darkness trilogy, and you're like, no. You're like, huh?
Yeah. I'm on the third book.
Uh-huh.
And I'm liking the character interactions and the character development, especially for Jason, maybe in this one.
Yeah.
But I'm not liking the plot that much. I mean, alien bug invasion, right? I mean, it's been done to death.
All right. Have you read Darkness trilogy, Teresa? Did we lose her?
Yeah, she's not in.
Oh shit! You should have told me. I wasn't even looking. Oh, she okay. Once she comes in, I will let her back in. All right. So let's move on. Technical difficulties for her. Sorry about that, darling. All right. So, they're coming in and they need to get to the generator there. And that is Tono's mission here. And of course, Anakin wants to protect her. And Obi-Wan's trying to rein him in. And I think too, when I first read this, and at first when he was like, why is she leading her own troops and stuff and blah, 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 blah. And, I'm thinking maybe he was a little bit jealous too. And the fact that's the first time I read it, that when I reviewed it last night, I kind of understood more and more about it. But I had a little sense in the first time I read it that Anakin was a little bit jealous because she's not a master yet. She's still a Padawan, or is she a master now?
She's a master now.
Yeah, okay. And see, that's the thing is like, okay, so she became a master, and I think she's a little bit younger than him. And to me, I kind of got like a feeling that he was also kind of like, why is she a master kind of deal as well. That's just when I first read it.
Yeah,
so
you're probably spot on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because she's so young. And she has her own troops. And I'm like, oh, that was kind of a sting, because they're all going through war. They all have these little basically trials, I guess you can say, and they all proved themselves.
Yeah, and Anakin has proved himself too.
Yeah, time and time again. And time again.
The thing is, though, he's whiny and emo.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to get at. He's not as mature. And masters have to be very mature and responsible. He will act rash, without fully thinking about the consequences, and that's why that's one reason why he didn't make master. And I think it was kind of Obi-Wan kind of told him that, I think in Revenge of the Sith too, that he, it's not just about, what your accomplishments are. It's also about your maturity. So. But I did see that sting. I did feel that sting. So that was kind of heartbreaking in a sense. I did feel that sting. You could kind of feel that in his tone a little bit if you caught on to that. All right. You have anything you want to say about the scene here, Stig?
No, they're just scouting, and you can see the base has kind of like the same shape as the Geonosian mountains, basically. Yeah. So I think they kind of do something to the area to make it they kind of like build a hive almost.
Yeah, exactly. And Miss Martin uses, like, you probably heard what we're talking about with the part where, Anakin realizes that, their Padawan that was younger than him is now a master and has her own troops. Did you catch up on that?
Sort of. I was having technical difficulties with my Wi-Fi, but yeah, and I'm sure that, well, and of course, Anakin is very thrilled about that, isn't he?
Yes.
He's just thrilled beyond all being.
Exactly. He's like, what? He's concerned about her. He doesn't want to lose lives, but then he realizes, wait a minute here. She's a bit younger than me, but she's a master now with her own troops.
Mm-hmm. And why is it that he just keeps being passed over?
Yeah.
And especially because he has proven himself from his point of view.
And that's what we're
warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were discussing too. And but also too, I remember, and I was telling Stig this, that I think it was Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan was telling Anakin, about, you have to be mature as well to be chosen as a master. We know that he's not mature yet.
Yes. Incredibly immature.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And too dumb to know that he's got to start tempering that part of himself, or else he never will be. And he never really was able to see that, which perhaps maybe shows something about his narcissism.
Yeah, exactly. And then so we're here, they're gonna, go in and again, they have to destroy the generator so they can stop the production. And like I said, this is kind of a small comic here and stuff, but still Anakin's questioning, she can't go alone. And Obi-Wan's like, we have our mission, let her do hers. And look at her image.
Which mirrors episode 2.
Yeah. Correct.
And Anakin wants to go back for
Padme. Yeah.
Yep.
And we're seeing that in a sense because he cares about everybody and he doesn't want anybody to die. We're seeing that that he's not learning the lesson because he's taking emotion and he's taking, feelings and stuff that overweigh, to it's his emotions and stuff are conflicting with what he needs to do in rationality, so he hasn't learned that lesson yet. And I don't, and we know that he hasn't, especially when it comes up to Padme. So Stephanie Little Page at $5. Good morning, Alora. Hope you're doing okay and not in a deep frozen like the rest of the country seems to be. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. And no, actually, I was telling Stig before we came on, it was like 36, 37 or something like degrees this morning, but it's probably going to get up to like 50 something here. So we're okay here in California. I wish I could send some of this warmth over there to you guys to help you out, but I can't. I'm sorry. All right.
If you think about it, the only one who's doing well is Florida man.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
What does he know that we don't?
Huh. Don't know. I don't know. But I was going to point out her image. Her image right here almost looks like that Avar Chris. Not like because she has the little band around her head and how her hair is kind of fixed or whatever. So I'm like, another quote unquote inspiration. Who knows?
Oh.
It's not like they can come up with anything new, so probably.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I was like, because she has that little classical like brow band, and even how she's dressed in a sense.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me that, they might have, and it's funny how we see these things and point them out and people are in disbelief, or whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of disbelief, Matt Wilkins is in the chat.
Oh, hello. He said,
made an appearance.
what global warming feels like.
You're experiencing Norway now, Wilkins.
Welcome to my land, my country. We're just sharing it with the world.
We're spreading the love.
Uh-huh.
But good point about herself. I'm zooming in on it here on my thing. And there was more aesthetics though in those originals. Like this is gorgeous, and anything that it appears that they tried to do with
the sequel trilogy were like cheap Kmart knockoffs of that.
Yeah, like even Rise of Skywalker is a cheap knockoff of of Dark Empire. And what's so funny is those people who did not like Dark Empire and like, oh, it breaks continuity, no, it's horrible, and da 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 da. And now they're all loving the Rise of Skywalker. So I have to laugh at the hypocrisy.
They were also bashing the fact that Boba Fett came back in the EU.
Yeah,
and then they're cheering and mouth breathing when he shows up very toned down in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Well, consistency isn't a common theme. It is not, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But man, look at her. I just love it.
Do you see it?
Just imagine it.
Yeah.
Anakin I can imagine him just wanting to punch her in the face on that bottom panel. It's like, fear not. Be still. I'm prepared for this. And she puts her fingers up to his lips. I'd have smacked her too. It's like, hey, lady, who do you think you are?
I know. It's like that classic shh with the woman putting their lips up to the man's face right there.
Exactly. It's like, I know they're trying not to make Anakin go to the dark side, but then they pull crap like that, the Jedi, with him all the time. I mean, hell, I might have turned Sith by the end of this.
He's like, I'm giving into my anger right now, bitch.
Yes.
Put that finger up at I would have bit her. I'd be
that would have been fun, though. Every time someone presses his lips, his eyes goes yellow.
Yeah. Oh my god! Imagine that, huh? Then you have an action figure. You just press the lips in his eyes.
Hey, that would be a great action figure.
I would buy it. All right, let's go on.
It's like, kiss him till his eyes go yellow.
There we go.
Hey,
that's maybe how he transferred, into the dark side because of Padme always kissing him.
Oh, maybe Palpatine did it.
Ew.
Oh.
No, we're not going there.
Well, we know that Padme did more than kiss him.
Yeah.
It is considered unnatural.
Oh!
God, no! Don't go
Deke
there,
said that, not us.
Now we're getting into diversity and stuff. Gallydorn says, Stig, I was gonna say Pelp too, laugh out loud.
Oh no.
Oh, these guys are thinking alike. It's Pelpy.
Palpy.
He knew all the right buttons to press.
Oh.
Yeah, that's palpable.
Hey, there's fan fiction with it.
I'm sure there is, and I'm sure it also involves R2-D2.
What?
Okay, we are going off topic here.
R2 Me Too.
Yeah, R2 Me Too gave R2 SDD2.
Oh God! They gave them a bug, huh?
Yeah, R2 gave his input in their backup.
Oh
God!
There's a virus that happened between that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on here, and so she's ready to go in to do what she needs to do, and Anakin's still questioning the ordeal, and Obi-Wan's still trying to rein him back in. So poor Obi-Wan, he's always had to. I mean, he dealt with such a difficult Padawan in a sense. Yeah. And I don't know if you two agree with me or not.
Oh, hell yes. I even remember when I watched The Phantom Menace the first time, and he's like, train him. And he's like, sure, master. And I'm like, no one would have judged Obi-Wan for going, just kidding, hell no. It's like he brings Anakin and does all this and then just tells Anakin, you train it. I'm going to keel off into the afterlife. It's not fair. And then Obi-Wan's the one that has to deal with him for the next 20 years.
Yeah. And the sad thing about that is that certain point of view books that they're doing, I think it was Empire Strikes Back or whatever.
Yep.
Where, he basically is like, I had to deal with the Skywalkers in real life and now I got to deal with them now kind of deal. And I'm like, oh, I could just strangle whoever wrote that because that's BS. Yes, he was difficult. And yes, Luke was, stubborn in a sense. And, but the thing is that he loved them.
Yes.
They were, part of him. So even, so I mean, I think that was such a misinterpretation of the relationship Obi-Wan had with the Skywalker boys.
Oh, for sure. And I'm just kidding, of course. They were family.
Yeah. No, but you could still deal with a difficult family member and love them.
Oh, that's what I'm saying is that deep down, Anakin always considered him, as he said, I'm sorry, Obi-Wan as a brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he was more like an elder brother, while maybe Qui-Gon would have been more of a father figure.
Mm-hmm.
And so in many ways that's been passed on to Obi-Wan. And I'm not sure how much they explored how familiar love was a part of that, really, until that scene at the end of Revenge of the Sith. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And so this little thing here says, Master, why was Master Tono chosen for this assignment? She's so young. So that's still spinning in his head, and he tells him she and her late master made studies of architecture and engineering. Such knowledge will be necessary. So basically she's chosen from her skill and what she was trained in. And I think,
unlike the people who work for Lucasfilm, who are chosen not by their skills, but
we can always bring it back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Though I will say, it's like, well, because she studied architecture and engineering. It's like, yeah, Anakin, if you'd have just been a nerd too, you could have done it.
Yeah. So Matt Wilkins says, there's a thought. How would Anakin have grown up if Papa Stig had raised him?
Oh, he wouldn't have fallen to the dark side, that's for sure.
Yeah. Stig wouldn't have let him whine.
Yeah. Any hint of that and I'll use the belt on him.
Oh, well, that would turn him to the dark side for sure.
No.
Okay.
All right. So they're leading the troops in while she goes on her mission and stuff. And so this is very self-explanatory, nice bit of little comic strip going on, just showing you what's, happening here. Do you want to say anything about this, Teresa or Stig?
Oh, well, I love it. Like I'm looking at this middle one, and you zoom in, and it's like got that little droid pointing. It's really cute. Mm-hmm. I know I'm not supposed to say cute with this because it's serious, but it's well done, and the color too. The fact that draws your eyes to it. It's fun, and also seeing them being the action boys that on the top. It reminds me of the way Chips used to be. I don't know if you ever saw that show, the Chips, the TV show with the two cops, and they'd go around their motorcycles. Yeah, that's a badass shot.
Yeah, that's like I could see that this Chips scene or whatever. So all right, so everybody, I love your guys' comments in here, but Matt Wilkins right here. Oh my God, Stig, before you make a comment about Lucasfilm, you need to begin with fade in.
Well, I think that one people got that one wrong because I think what she was trying to say in her dope down voice is, I'm fading.
I'm fading.
I'm melting.
I'm melting.
Too much Valium. I'm just fading.
It's getting dark in here, and she's outside talking.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to go there. All right. So we're inside now. We're seeing what's going on inside here. So we see the Geonosians there, and within their hive that they're created, and some of their troops here. So we have the battle droids here as well. So
super battle droids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're even you can't tell if you watch the Filoni shows because they're just as dumb. But
the dubstep battle droids.
Yeah, they're not even super dumb. They're just the same.
Yeah, so we have them here, and you could see that there's huge mass production, and so there's more than just them being built maybe on Geonosis and stuff like that, because we know that they are very well equipped or prepared with different places to have these droids built for the war. Mind you, we know who's controlling both sides of the war, so so he has an advantage over everyone, which basically is the revenge of the Sith. All right, so let's go on. Okay, and then so again, they're preparing to raid, and she's inside here. So she hasn't been detected just yet, but she's also seeing, like all the chaos in there as well. She's like, I'm in the generator room, has to be at the heart of the complex, so I'll just keep going, moving inward. But she's thinking to herself, and she did get caught right there. So they did see her. And then so she ignites her lightsaber. And right here, this is the image that I shared on Twitter here. And this image here reminded me of something that Stephen Wayne Art would have redrawn at, off of Avar Kriss.
Oh.
I mean, she's fully covered here because of this, they're on a snow planet, or they're in an area on the planet that has snow. And so she is fully covered, but just how it's looked, the small waist, everything, reminds me of something that he would have redrawn out of Avar Kriss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And may I do the honors? Oh, I'm sorry. If you'll let me do the honors. Swick. Whack.
Awesome. Woo!
Yeah, she whacked them off.
And here we go.
They're in the gutter today.
Whack on, whack off.
Whack on, whack off.
We're out of the shallows now.
And then, so here we go. We have some more.
Oh, yes. Bzlat. And I think that's it. Just bzlat.
And then we have her going, oof.
Oof.
Yep. So she takes a blow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she takes a blow.
She takes a blow.
Gosh, it's rubbing off on me. Help me.
That was quite the mouthful.
I need an intervention.
Yeah,
Thank God
too much to swallow.
Ew. Thank God I have my show that's labeled not for kids. Because we are really turning this into an R-rated review of the comic, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, come on, Teresa. Calm down.
I've had bad influences.
No, not you. It's Stig. I blame Stig. He's the only guy here. I blame him. His toxic masculinity.
Oh, there we go.
That we love.
It's not toxic.
He's like, it's not toxic. All right, so let's move on. So basically, she's fighting, and she knows that she's gonna have to sacrifice herself, and I think that's what Anakin was sensing. And he doesn't want no one to die. He's tired of everybody he knows, or even from people from the war dying, and he thinks that he also has to save everyone.
Yeah.
So he has that huge conflict in him. So basically, they're talking about their what does it say? Let me see here. Of retreating here, or going where they need to go, basically. Yeah, it says the enemy has taken a defensive position. Sir will suffer massive loss if we attack, and he wants them. He was saying, "Relax, Commander. We're not attacking." So they're trying to weigh out their thing. They want her to do her mission, and her mission, she's like, I'll have to do it even if I have to sacrifice myself. And so here's the generator here, and she is now gonna, set things up to blow. So set all the detonators out and everything. And so Stig, you want to take this real quick?
Yeah, she's setting up for the blow, which is going to be the climax of the story. What?
You caught that too.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's hoping for a happy ending, but we don't know yet. But Yeah, she's infiltrated the hive, and they're onto her, and they're starting to attack her. And yeah, she's being a proper Jedi. No strong females in Star Wars until 2015.
Oh yeah,
Or at least not till Ahsoka.
Yeah, this lady's going full on Rambo.
Yep.
she is. I mean, she's climbing all. Well, the next one we'll see that, but she's she's facing the Geonosian species here, and she's going to be climbing all over, setting up the detonators as well. So we'll get to that. And so she still wants to. He then calms her, and she's like, "Just leave me. If my part of my mission means I have to die, that's what I need to do to get this mission done." And he's like, basically, Master Tono, I can get you out. And so he's dealing with that, and he hops into. He takes off in the ship to go that way, and so again. Obi-Wan still has to bring him back. He's like, you need to stay on task, Anakin. So that's the theme here. We need to stay on task. We need to get these things done. If someone has to give their life for it, then we need to honor them for doing what they need to do.
Yeah. And then Anakin, of course, saying, no, I can save her. I know I can. And that's, again, that frustration that he can't save everybody, but he wants to.
Yeah, and that goes back to, him and Padme as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having a lot of foreshadowings. We've seen a lot of turmoil went on his head. And, he's still a Padawan here. And I forgot to see where this is in the timeline here, because we know that he gets knighted, but he's still not knighted yet. And so.
Yeah, and he wants to penetrate the hive too. I dedicate that to Kitty Bear in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't been reading much of the chat right now. So, but thank you guys for coming in and keeping the conversation going as well. So like I said, she now is, putting all the little detonators up. She's climbing around. I mean, she's like, she's really getting her mission done and stuff. And Anakin here is, but Master, if there's a chance I can save her. And he goes, I have to try. And, so then he starts, receiving blaster or fire at him. So.
Yeah, I bet it's Obi-Wan. Get down, Anakin.
I'm going to put your ass down. Get back over here.
Yeah. Get down. You can't do me good back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, but she can.
Yeah, and then we have him, Skywalker, listen to me. And he goes, Master Tano, don't worry, I have a gunship. I'm on my way. And she's like, to where? You will only, will you fly into the depths of the enemy base? So basically she's saying, like, it's pointless.
Yeah.
It's pointless for you to do this.
Yeah. And she's like telling him.
She's like, too late. You can't reach third base today.
No, but the key word, I accepted my mission and its possible consequences. And that is what you do in war.
Yeah.
It sucks, but that's what war is.
Exactly.
Yeah, and all of these events in the comics are building up to episode 3, where Anakin thinks he's going to lose Padme.
Yeah.
Because he's had all kinds of losses and frustrations up until then. It's just been building him up. And now, and then he's like, oh shit, now I'm going to lose Padme, right?
Yeah. Yes. Like it's like the whole foreshadowing, the whole emotional context of Anakin and his conflict.
Yeah.
And then, Palpatine feeds right into it. He manipulates him. He uses a psychological manipulation on Anakin to make him feel like the Jedi don't care for him, to make him feel like that he's not worthy to be a master while he's on the council, to make him feel like that he's going to lose his wife, and to make him feel like he needs him to save her. So there's a lot of depth going on in all of that you have to sit back and really look. And even the EU helps expanded everything even more. And I remember there's a quote with George Lucas saying that, like when he received his scar from Ventress in their fight, before when he gets his scar, when we see him in Revenge of the Sith, George Lucas's comment was basically like, how did he get that scar? And George is like, well, that's not, that needs to be told. That's going to be told in the EU or in the novels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right there in the word expanded universe.
Yeah.
It's optional, but if you want to expand your Star Wars knowledge and stuff about characters and all that, there it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Precisely.
Yeah, and so if he didn't see the EU as as anything worthy of him, then he wouldn't be telling people to read about it in the EU.
Yeah. He even said it in the 80s. Star Wars will be continued in novels and comics.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's a new idea anyways that George wasn't involved, because I was there as it was all happening. And when they were advertising it and on the article, they were all saying, this is George Lucas approved. That was how they marketed it. That's what they put on the novels. That's what they put on the comics. It was never even questioned until a year ago.
The buyout.
Yeah. Until all the new fans happened.
Yeah. Well, because even after the buyout, I wasn't hearing people saying, well, George had nothing to do with it.
No,
not at all.
It's people are using it to try and defend basically Filoni for messing up the EU.
Yeah. All right, so let's go on with this right here. So Anakin's still, headstrong right here and wanting to try to save her. And then, they're trying to make, talk sense into him, like honor her life. Life has an inevitable ending, basically. And please allow me to make peace with it. Complete your part of the mission is what she's telling him. And he's not liking any of this. You could see that with the expression on his face.
Yeah. And what she says here also highlights that Anakin's wish to always save in this case is almost selfish. He's only thinking of himself. She's like, hey, let me make peace with this. She's getting ready to go to the great beyond. And she's having to talk down this dude who just won't see reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's a great point. There's a bit of selfishness in there because he's only thinking about how he feels as well when it comes to death and stuff. He doesn't realize that, there's people that do make peace with it and do want that to be honored and stuff like that. So that's another depth that, is that maybe some people, even fans, may not realize. I'm not saying all, but that there's a lot of depth within this and what's going on. And so not allowing to let go and honoring the life that was and them going to the Force, is a form of selfishness. So, all right, and
brat.
Yes, he is. And so she basically says, "Thank you, Anakin." So he's trying to make peace with that, and he doesn't really learn from it because we see that in Revenge of the Sith. And so she's fighting them off there so that she can have so they don't stop her mission and everything. So we have this, this whole scene going on here. And we have, I don't know if you could say this right here, but there you go, Teresa, if you want to try to say that.
Vin.
There we go. So she ignited her lightsaber. Good job. I like that. And so they're continuing to fight. Go ahead, Stig.
Yeah, she's killing off a lot of those rats.
The
and then she's starting to get overwhelmed because there's like a flock of them.
Yeah.
And she throws her lightsaber into the explosives pack.
Yep.
Which I actually have a problem with.
Why?
And this is in Return of the Jedi too. Because if you drop a lightsaber, it deactivates. So why is it still active when you throw it? That never makes sense to me.
Unless she's using the Force to keep it.
I was going to say a Force button, a Force thumb. She has her little thumb on it with the Force.
Yeah, but they could still do that when they drop it.
Who knows?
I always thought that was a bit odd. But it doesn't need to be explained really. But it's like a little nitpick.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I know there's a lot of scenes in the EU where they toss their saber ignited to hit something, and sometimes it returns back and all that.
Yeah, like Luke does it. Yeah, okay, fair point.
Yeah.
Maybe her lightsaber is kind of like a joystick, and it has auto fire.
There you go.
There you go. Yes. And so there she goes. So she's making peace with herself and ready to join the Force here.
Yeah.
She's zenning out.
She's at peace when she makes the column explode.
Well, you said that you were wanting to have a happy ending.
There you go. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on here. And so they're seeing all the explosions here, and I think the droids also get caught up in it, and I think maybe some of them do get deactivated because they do have a power center that keeps them going, I believe. But we do see the whole destruction of the base, their base and their factory. And so they're successful because she gave her life, which Anakin still can't wrap his head around as we see him right here. Yes, it's a great loss. And yes, everybody's going to be sad and stuff. But we just know Anakin cannot get past the part of not letting go and the part of not be able to save everyone. And that's his biggest flaw right there.
And perhaps coming full circle in the end of Return of the Jedi, where he does sacrifice himself for the greater good for someone else. And also maybe some motivation. I remember after seeing Revenge of the Sith, also thinking, going through his head when he was seeing the Emperor doing that, and he was like, I'm going to once again be losing somebody I love, even though maybe he was only just figuring it out. This is his son. It's like, I can do something about this, even if it means my death.
Yeah, exactly. And so this right here is so heartbreaking right here. So this is the last page and we're coming up close to the hour. So it's perfect timing. So, he's like, thank you, Master, but why does our success feel like a? And so Obi-Wan continues to say, this is what happens with war. We will experience a lot of loss. And, basically it's not right, but, we don't want their sacrifice to go in vain. And
we will keep the memory of it in our hearts.
Exactly.
Oh, and look at Obi-Wan's face there. So you can tell that he's hurting.
He's hurting too. Yes. Yeah. Everybody's hurting. And so that's the difference right there is like, he can let go, but you could still mourn and let go. Anakin is still holding on to it, holding on to the fear, holding on to the sadness, holding on to not able to save everyone. And I think that's, like these comics and these scenarios flesh him out really, really well. Really well. And a great compliment to them is Tartakovsky's Clone Wars 03, and which I really, really love. So, yeah. So, Teresa, what do you feel about this comic now that we could talk a little bit more, reveal anything more since we're rounding up our hour?
Oh, well, I think I told you it's devastating and really shows about war. Short and sweet. When storytelling is good, it doesn't need to sit around and write a novel about it to make the point. You show, you don't tell. And I just wanted to remark on this last image that the image at the end is of the blown up little droid.
Yeah.
Kind of sealing the deal that war is death and destruction.
Yeah. Exactly. And so, Stig, you want to add anything else to this?
It's an excellent kind of standalone comic, really, because it doesn't really tie into the other comics that much. It's just Anakin and Kenobi on a mission that's resolved in one comic. You can pretty much put it in. Well, you have to put it after the Battle of Jabim, though.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd give it like an 8. The artwork was excellent, The female Jedi was great, and she went out like a boss. Probably killed a few hundred of those Geonosians.
Yeah.
So it mattered, Not like Luke, who dies like a hobo on a cliff.
Oh yeah, don't remind me of the Jake Skywalker scene.
Yeah. And this is the last one of the Clone Wars Volume 2 we're doing.
Yes.
And I've already read the third one, so I've done my homework.
Yeah, you have.
Well done.
I'm catching up. I'm catching up. Like I said, these comics I never really I love the novels. I never really got into the comics very much. And so I'm rediscovering different little areas of Star Wars by reviewing these comics. And you guys are seeing this firsthand. And I'm enjoying experiencing this with you guys.
Just wait until we get to the Rebellion comics.
Oh God, I know. I have a couple of them with me.
You're gonna go batshit crazy because they are good.
Yes, they are.
Especially if you like Luke and Leia and Wedge.
Wedge. I love me some Wedge.
Yeah, love some Wedge. All right. So again, I have a quiz coming, our exam coming up in 10 minutes or less. So today's a short stream, and it was perfect with this comic we reviewed, since it's the last one of volume 2 of the collection. And so we're gonna go ahead and start ending here. So Teresa, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me at Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. You can also find me in my bedroom, staying warm and sealing off everything with 2 felines and a lot of Icelandic wool. Though I'm very lucky that my heat is on, but we're not we're conserving, if you know what I mean. It's all very modest right now. Also Twitter, Teresa2_Martin, and you will see me every Monday on Sporking's A Song of Ice and Fire book review.
Ooh, that sounds good. Marvelous. Thank you so much for being my my guest here today. And if you want to do any streaming in the evening time, just let me know. If I have time, I'll jump in with you just to keep you company.
Awesome. I'm trying to find a good time to do the Frozen Diaries.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right. And then Stieg, go ahead and tell us where we can find you.
Well, right here on Thursdays.
Yes.
And on Mondays, I'm with Teresa on Sporking's channel talking about the Game of Thrones books. Other than that, I do have a channel, but it's completely void of emotion. There's no anger, hatred, joy, or anything on it. It's just retro videos and some top 5 lists. And
well, no, we have laughter. You give us laughter too.
Well, I'm not laughing.
No, you're not. But I'm just saying you give us laughter.
Okay.
Yeah, through your top 5 and stuff. So you do, yeah. So in a way, you give us something to go and laugh and and contemplate. And it's not PC either. So if you're not used to that kind of jokes and that kind of humor and stuff, you might get triggered. Which if you do get triggered, I feel very sorry for you.
All I really do is I find 5 weird pictures, and then I film the computer screen with my cell phone while talking about the pictures.
Yeah.
That's it. It's done in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's very entertaining. It's very entertaining.
And he's got more subs than a lot of us.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, I'm not one to talk. My French cheese one took off. Took me a few seconds. I'm like, hey, French cheese, go for it. You want subs? French cheese.
Yeah. Yes. And even if it's cold and you're snowed in, don't sniff glue.
Oh, no. All right. There you go. Yeah, or don't put it in your hair.
That too.
Yeah, that too. All right. Thank you guys so much. Again, chat, you guys are amazing. I love discussing this, and it just keeps on getting better and better and better. It's just amazing storytelling in these comics, amazing art in most of them, a lot of them. And thank you again, you guys, for being here. Thank you, chat, as well. And may the Force be with you.
Always.
Always.